Hello, Flosstube. How are you? This is Amber from Amber Michelle Hand Stitched, and I'm here with Flosstube number 5, I think. I'm a little late with this one. I was going to do a video on my usual day, which is Sundays or Mondays, but things have been extremely hectic. My sister's getting married, as y'all know, and last weekend she graduated from college, and this weekend, actually tomorrow, I'm throwing her bachelorette party, and next weekend is her wedding. So she planned that one great. But no, I mean, it's fun. It's been fun. All the festivities have been great, but I am preparing for her wedding, and then, you know, I'm the maid of honor, so I'm helping out with stuff and throwing her this party. And then I take my board exam for my nutrition, a new nutrition license in June 9th. So I've got a lot of stuff coming up. A good friend of mine, we're going to Idaho for a little trip right after my sister's wedding, and then I'm going to Florida to take my board. So it's going to be kind of crazy. So hopefully I'll be able to do another Flosstube in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to try to stick to my once a week schedule. So today I just have kind of a probably shorter video for y'all today again, which I like the shorter videos, so I'm going to try to keep mine under 20 minutes if I can. But I wanted to do a couple of shout outs. These are some people that I meant to mention last time and didn't because I was kind of doing it on the fly. So a couple new people that I've been watching, or they may not be new, but they're new to me. Victoria's Creative Crafts. I really like her. She's funny. I don't know, she's just got a really funny sense of humor, and she kind of just cracks me up. I like Flosstubers who make me laugh. So that's one of the reasons that I love Tiffany at Express Life Tifa, because her videos, she's always cracking herself up, and she has a very infectious laugh, so it makes me laugh, and I just enjoy watching her. And I like watching groups, you know, pairs or something, because they tend to, you know, when they talk to each other, they make each other laugh, and that's fun. They tell a lot of funny stories and things like that. For us who are doing it on our own, it can be a little harder to, you know, keep it light and fun, but anyway, we'll try. So Victoria's Creative Crafts, really like her, and then Sarah Shepherd. And Shepherd is S-H-E-P-H-E-R-D. Definitely go check them out. I really like them. Sarah's really sweet. She commented on some of my videos, and I watched her videos, and she's also a knitter, but she's recently kind of gotten into cross stitch and stuff, so we had a lot in common. So I really enjoyed watching her. So go check her out. And then the other one is Long Dog Stitcher. Long Dog, and dog is spelled D-A-W-G. And actually, she is going to be joining in on Tiffany and our Sal, so our stitch along that's coming up. And so a little information about that: our stitch along is coming up on June 1st. We are stitching this pattern, To Grow a Garden, from Lila's Studio, and you can find it on Etsy. To grow a garden is to believe in tomorrow. So it's a small pattern. It's not going to take too long to stitch it up, but it's cute. It's got a lot of color. And so we're all kind of doing something different with it. I'm going to change up the colors on it for my taste, and I know Tiffany's changed up the colors. She couldn't wait, so she's already started. I think it's Jessica from Long Dog Stitcher, and I are going to wait till June 1st to get started, and we'll be posting our progress on Instagram. If you would like to join in, you probably still have plenty of time to get the pattern and get started, and feel free to join in anytime. If you're watching this video several weeks after it's uploaded, feel free to join in. That hashtag will always be up there, so you're welcome to stitch along, and we'd love to see your progress. The hashtag is going to be hashtag LSATSAL, so L-S-A-T-S-A-L, and that stands for Lila's Studio, Amber, and Tiffany's Stitch Along. So Tiffany came up with that hashtag, so thanks, Tiff. And yeah, so if you want to join us, we'd love to see you on there. One more thing. Oh yeah, also a couple of shout outs that I always have to shout out. people that I love watching. I love Misty Purcell. Hi, Misty. So I watched her latest video again. She's made some really good progress on her quilt sampler. That looks amazing, and it's going to be way more intense than she thought it would be. And, you know, that's the same thing with, she was talking about a scarf that she was making and how, that she was knitting, and how whenever she made a mistake, you know, sometimes in knitting you can kind of fudge it as you go along on lace patterns and things like that, but this is one particular one where if you fudge it, you've got to go back and start over from the place where you messed up. And I've definitely been there, Misty, to the point where there are several projects that I got pretty far on, made a mistake, didn't realize I'd made a mistake till pretty far later, and then just didn't feel like tearing it out and doing it again, so I gave up on them. But that's one of the great things about just making stuff up as you go, which is what I do now. I just kind of make patterns up as I go, because I've been knitting long enough that I have a good understanding of how garments and things are constructed, so I can kind of like just fudge it in my head and make it as I go along, like a top-down sweater or a bottom-up sweater or whatever it may be. And all I do is take some measurements of myself and make some, you know, do some math and then figure out how many inches. And the good thing is right now that, you know, sweaters are, it's really in to have sweaters that are a little bit more shapeless, and so those are so easy to make. But anyway, been there, Misty, so I feel for you. But I think that using Stitch Mania as an excuse to kind of get some work done on things that you've been neglecting is a really great idea. So I want to say one quick thank you. Oh yeah, also, sorry, Leslie Hurley. Go watch her as well. I love her. She cracks me up too, and she breeds adorable kittens. So if you like kittens, you can go see them. And she's really funny, and I like her, everything that she works on. So go watch her. I want to say a thank you to somebody who commented on, I think, one of my second or third video. Her name is Colette Kingsley, and if you've watched my previous videos, you know that I really wanted and was searching for this pattern called the Wisdom Sampler by Vermilion Stitchery, and couldn't find it anywhere. There were a couple of websites that claimed that they had it in stock, and some people left me comments that, you know, to go look there, and I had already looked there, called, emailed, all this stuff, and I get no response, or it says, you know, that the email address is no longer in service. So I'm assuming that these places are out of business. And so far nobody's been able to direct me to a place where I could buy it, but Colette said that she was working on it, and that when she was done, she'd be happy to pass it my way. So thank you, Colette. You have no idea how happy I was to see that comment, because I really love that pattern. I mean, I don't even think it's just a function of not being able to find it and, you know, wanting it more because it's hard to get. From the moment I saw that pattern, I said, I love that. I've got to have that. I love what it says. I love the colors. I love everything about it. I want to stitch it just like it looks like. I mean, I just love it. It's very me. So I'm super, super thankful to her. And of course, she doesn't know when she's going to finish it, but she's like 2/3 of the way done. You can follow her progress on Instagram on it if you want, Colette Kingsley. And she's doing an awesome job on it. It looks beautiful. So anyway, Colette, I'm going to hold you to it. I'm going to be watching you. And when you finish it, I'm going to be typing on there, hey, can I borrow that pattern from you? So anyway, I really appreciate it. Thank you, Colette. That means so much to me. So moving on, I talked about our SAL. So those of you who want to join in, definitely do. We're going to start June 1st officially. And now I just want to talk about some stuff that I've been working on. So I've gotten a fair amount of work done since my last video. I haven't been as good at taking pictures on Instagram. I don't know since my last video if I've worked on this or not, but this is one of my whips, Silent Night, Holy Night by Country Cottage Needleworks. And here's what I've got done so far. Top border, some of the snowflakes, and a little bit of the church. So not a ton. I really haven't picked it up very much. I love it. I just find it hard to motivate with Christmas patterns right now, but I know that, you know, I need to be working on it so that I can eventually get it done. But what had happened was, I got my Prairie Life sampler I finally got this all kitted up. Hearstring Samplery Prairie Life Sampler, which I love. So I finally got that kitted up, and of course I got super excited because I'm changing all the colors. I completely did away with the colors and I'm doing something different. I wanted it to be bright, and I wanted it to have more pinkiness to it than red. Like, it's kind of like a maroon looking color on there, which I'm not huge on. So I started working on that, and I've gotten a fair amount done on that. So here's my progress so far. You can see it. So I've got a little bit of the tree. I made my own little family. There's my flowers. I've been working on the flowers. So I changed the family. Let's see if I can fold this better so you can still see my face. I changed the family here. It was, you know, it's the family from the Laura Ingalls Wilder books, but Little House on the Prairie, all that. But I wanted it to be me and my husband, and since we don't have kids, but we have 3 dogs, I wanted our puppies to be on there. So I was asking for opinions from my Instagram followers, and y'all feel free to give me your opinions below. So I stitched my little puppies. There's Peanut, Lulu, and Elsa on there. And of course they're a little out of proportion with the actual people, which doesn't bother me too much. It bothers me a little bit, but I'm thinking once I get it all done, it'll look cute. Because, you know, a lot of samplers and patterns, you know, the things aren't really in proportion. Particularly, you know, with I Needle and Thread, a lot of their patterns, like the different characters are kind of out of proportion and stuff. And it looks cute. Like, it's a design choice. So I'm not too worried about that. I'm just debating with myself whether I really like having just the 2 people and then the 3 dogs, and whether I'd rather just have the original family, because this is a Laura Ingalls Wilder quotation, and you know, it's Little House on the Prairie, and the little, you know, this is the cabin in the big woods, and so I'm wondering if I want to stay more true to the books, because I do love those books, or if I want to keep it my family. And I'm kind of at this point thinking I'm just going to keep it because I'd rather not tear it out. They're so small, but you know how long it takes to do just that small amount of stitching, so I'm kind of hesitant to take it out. But anyway, so I'm using like lots of different colors for the flowers. I'm pulling in some yellows, some brighter pinks, some softer pinks and stuff, and I'm just trying to use the same 3 colors and just use them in different variations on the flowers, and hopefully when the whole thing gets done it'll look pretty as a conglomeration. I'm not totally crazy about it right now, but I think it's gonna look really pretty when it's all done. And then of course I changed the greens and made those brighter. So overall I'm really happy with how it's turning out, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. And if nothing else, like, it's really fun to watch it come to life with the different colors that I chose. And yeah, I used this is all Weeks Dye Works thread, so it cost me an arm and a leg, but it's been fun. And I can't remember this fabric, but this is from Picture This Plus. So anyway, that fabric's different too. See, kind of got that cool modeling and stuff. I just thought it looked pretty on there. So I'm kind of regretting though, because I probably could have used more of this fabric, but at my LNS she was saying make sure you start it in the middle, because you're gonna want it's like one side is gonna be extra long and the other sides are just right for 3 inches for framing. But now that it's stitching up, I'm thinking like I really could have probably started it more in the corner, because I don't know that I'm gonna need that much space on the ends, but we'll see. All right, and then my other whip is, where are you? Oh, it's still in the bag, sorry. Afternoon in Paris by Cottage Needleworks. So I worked pretty faithfully on my Prairie Life for several days, and then when I started to feel a little burnt out on it, I switched back to my Afternoon in Paris. So I've been working on that, and I'm really happy with this. This is fun to stitch. It's really cute, And of course, I'm always surprised at how long it takes to stitch certain things. Like the Arc de Triomphe there took me forever to fill in all that white and stuff, but I'm happy with it. I used all the called for floss on this one, and of course the variegation is really pretty. I love the tree and the little bird, so I'm working on it. It's getting there. I'm really a fair amount done with it, so I'm thinking that I don't think I'll be done by next week, but the week after that I probably will be done if I keep working on it the way I have, because I've been very inspired. My husband and I are going back to visit Paris later this year, and I've been once and loved it. And Paris was a place that I always dreamed of going when I was a young girl. I even forced my mom to, when we were redecorating, to let me redecorate my bedroom in the French country style. So I'm very into all things French. I have some French ancestry, and I just love it. And wish that I could live there. So sadly, I live in Texas. Although I have to say, I like Texas. Texas gets a bad rap, but San Antonio is a nice city. People love Austin. Austin isn't really, to me, it doesn't really capture the heart of what Texas is like, because it's just so many people from other places living there now. I mean, well, I guess that does capture the heart of Texas, because Texas is really an immigrants kind of state. I mean, we have people from all over the world that live here because it's have some important cities for industry and things like that. But I don't know, the vibes are different. I guess Austin is more hipstery, more like people into like music and nightlife and stuff. I mean, I like that stuff, but that's not what feels homey to me. But San Antonio has a lot of history and culture, and I think people could sometimes turn their nose up at Texas and at San Antonio. If you're from Texas, some people turn their nose up at San Antonio, but I think it's a beautiful city, and I was born and raised here, and I love it here, and I would recommend it to anyone. So it's a great place to live. So that's that. Now I want to show you my haul, because I did haul it up this week. The LNS, I caught them on the day that they put a bunch of stuff in the 50% off bin. So I was psyched, because I got some good stuff, guys. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go through well, this is not from the 50% off bin, but I did snag the little deer from the Welcome to the Forest series. Let's see if I can focus on that. There you go. I have the little banner already, and I do plan to do all these. I actually have the banner kitted up. I just haven't started it yet. So Flosstube is a bad influence on me, guys. I'm buying a lot more stuff than I think I would have if I didn't know about Flosstube, because y'all are always getting stuff, and I'm like, oh, I want to have stuff too. But the thing is, if you have a bunch of stuff in your stash, then you forget it's there, and then you go to the LNS and you buy new stuff, and then you want to start the newest thing that you buy. You want to start something that's been sitting in your stash for 3 months or 6 months or 10 years that you said you wanted to do back then and forgot about. So I'm just afraid that I'm not going to stitch half this stuff, and that makes me sad. I know. To each his own. That's just my... It's just, I'm kind of type A, if you can't tell. So like the idea of things just sitting and not being done that I paid for and that I intended to do, like somehow I seem to make any hobby into like a job. And I enjoy it because I'm kind of a workaholic, but yet it's still a job and it stresses me out. So I don't know why I'm like that, but like anything, even with knitting, like especially around Christmas time, like I make it my job to knit, and I get some stuff done, and it's beautiful stuff, and I'm proud of it and everything. But like I'm exhausted because I force myself to just work and work and work, because I make myself deadlines, and I'll make a list, a Christmas knitting list, and I've got deadlines for each thing, and I better hit those deadlines or else I'll beat myself up about it. So it becomes like a job. And now cross stitching is my third job. So great. Thanks, guys. You all inspired me. No, I'm not blaming you. I blame myself. And I blame the crafting gods because they inspired me with their juju. So I got this one 50% off. Little House Needleworks, Forest Friends. Ah, so cute. I've seen some people do that, and I love it. And I'm very happy to support my L&S by buying their 50% off patterns. I'll tell you that much. Of course, I'll buy them full price too, but hey, it doesn't hurt when you snag a deal. I mean, if they were wanting to get them off the shelves anyway, I am happy to take them off their hands. I was actually going to buy this one, Merry and Bright, but there it was, 50% off, and I says, I got to have it. I just think it's cute. Be fun for Christmas. I love Christmas. I have a lot of Christmas decorations, and every year I buy more and make it more fun. And last year I had a red and white tree, which was a first. I'd never done red and white before. I've done every other variation of Christmas colors. I mean, I don't like what Daniel, my husband, calls weird colors. Like, I don't do the pinks or the blues, but I've got, I do red, red and gold, red and silver, silver and gold. I did a mixed metals tree one year with silver, gold, and bronze. But last year I did red and white, and I bought all this like peppermint kind of looking stuff, and it was so cute, and I loved it. So I plan to do that again this year, unless of course I go to Hobby Lobby and see the new things for this year, and it just really, I have to do that instead. But I really, really loved the red and white. It was my favorite one that I've ever done. Had just the right amount of cutesiness while still being classy, which is what I like. So yeah, that'll go good with all my stuff. I got this Little House Needleworks sampler stitchers. I just thought it was cute with the little girls. This is one of those ones where I like it a lot. I think it's really adorable. Will I ever do it? I don't know. But I got it because it was 50% off and it was really cute. And hey, if I have some extra fabric and I see it, I might see it one day and like feel like in the mood to stitch it. And it doesn't look like it'll take too long. So yeah. And then this one is one I kind of had my eye on, but didn't decide to buy before because I thought, well, do I really, really want it? But then if it's 50% off, I just got it. So Jane and Cassandra by the Needles Notion. Cute for sisters, you know. So I like stuff with ladies on it. I actually have this, you know, I really want to do a, I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Mirabilia? Mirabilia? I want to do one of those patterns. There's one that I really want that seems to always be out of stock. I guess it must have been really popular, but it was the seasonal ones, the spring seasonal one, spring summer, and it had the two girls. It looked very Art Deco, and I loved that. So I really want to do that. That's the one that I'm holding out for. The other one I really like is the garden party one, so I might do that too. And then this one, really cute, Stitching Parlor, Mr. and Mrs. Darcy of Pemberley. Pride and Prejudice is one of my favorite books, and I've read it many, many times. So I had to get Mr. and Mrs. Darcy, and that one I will do. When? I don't know, but I will do it. And, okay, so that's the end of all my stuff about stitching. I'm at 23 minutes, so I'm going to do one more thing real quick, and then I'm going to call it a, oh, one more thing. For those of you who follow my, my knitting, I had a custom order commission recently for some baby bonnets. I used to exclusively make knitted items for newborn babies and newborn baby photographers, and I did that for several years. That was one of the ways that I paid myself through college and actually paid for my honeymoon doing that. And this was before Etsy got like overtaken with wholesalers and kind of lost its soul. Back in the day when you could still make a pretty good living at Etsy and charge reasonable prices for stuff, and it wasn't too oversaturated, but alas, that's how it is now. So I used to, it was crazy. I used to get like 10 or 12 orders of baby hats a day, and I was working constantly, and it was really good. I made some really good money doing it, and it was awesome. But I took a break when I got married back in 2011, and I took a break for a little bit, and when I tried to go back to it, it just wasn't the same. The whole algorithms had changed and all that stuff, and I just didn't have the energy to really keep up with all the changes and stuff. So I've done it off and on here and there. When we were going to buy our house, I started doing that again and made a little money, you know, for that. But anyway, if you are interested in commissioning something for me, you know, I do have a lot of experience making stuff for newborns and for babies, and I actually have my stuff on display at a shop in Helotes, my parents' nursery. They have a gift shop in there, and so I have a section with all my knitted stuff. But I also will do custom orders. So this was from a lady who used to buy hats for me all the time, and she said she really wanted hats. She really wanted me to make her some hats because I have a good understanding of fit for babies, and it's hard when you're buying hand knit stuff to make sure that it's actually fitted properly. So I have a very good table that I work off of of pretty reliable averages for baby heads, their sizes of their heads and stuff, and so the measurements for hats. And I've had really good success with that for the whole time I've done it. So I really honed that in. So that's one benefit of it. But she used to buy hats for me a lot, and she wanted some hats. She wanted me to make her some hats. And so she was like, do you still do any orders? And I said, well, not really. Kind of, you know, doing other stuff these days, but you know, just let me know what you want and I could probably do something for you. So we worked it out, and I made her, she wanted three bonnets for me, so we did a custom order, and I just pulled some yarn that I already had because I have a ton of it, and from my baby hat making days, and I actually haven't finished these off, but this is the blue one. So she wanted like fuzzy cozy stuff, so the little baby's head goes there like that, and then you tie the little bonnet. So those of you who have had a newborn fairly recently, then the last several years, know that the newborn photo shoots are really popular with the little hats, and the last several years it's been bonnets that have been really in. So she needed some boy bonnets. So this is another one. I love that yarn. Always liked that. And then I haven't finished this one. I haven't put the strings on it yet, but this is just an off-white one, and this is super soft. So those are 3 baby bonnets, and you know, I want to show y'all what I'm up to, and that's one of the things that I'm doing right now. So I'm almost done with that order. I'm going to send that out, and that's the only knitting that I have done recently, is just working on those hats, and that's actually been nice to kind of get a little knitting in, because I tend to forget about knitting during the summer these days, and sometimes it's nice to go back to your old love. So anyway, if anyone watches that and is like, hey, I've got to have some baby stuff, I'll do custom orders, so let me know. But you can message me. You can message me on Instagram. Amber Michelle Hand Stitched is my Instagram. So, and you can see, actually, if you go on there and you want to see, you can see some of my past work, because I used to put pictures up of some of the samples that were made of my hats and stuff. Excuse me. And no, I don't do patterns, for those of you who are going to ask me that, because I know a lot of people have asked me in the past if I made patterns of those hats so that they can knit them themselves. I never have done that, and I mean, I could try, but I do them from memory, so it's hard for me to translate it into a pattern. I've never really written a pattern down. I tried once, but it was really complicated, so I gave up. But that is something that I've thought about possibly just selling the patterns for my knitted stuff one day, and then I wouldn't have to actually make them and send them out to people. So I might do that at some point if I get into it. But all right, so that's it. I'm just going to do my nutrition tip. So if you don't want to hear about nutrition, it's time to sign off. So this week I was inspired to talk to you a little bit about hair, skin, and nails, because we had an event at my office where we were talking about healthy and glowing hair, skin, and nails, and how to get those. A lot of people struggle with dry skin, dry hair, brittle nails, stuff like that. So the 2 biggest takeaways for all that is that hair, skin, and nails, primarily when we have issues with those, in the dryness and brittleness department, the weakness department, it's a nutrition deficiency or a nutrient deficiency. So the two nutrients that are most important are the B vitamins, so folate and B12, B6, and even biotin. And so you'll see a lot of products that are formulated for hair, skin, and nails that are they have a lot of biotin in them, because biotin is a really great vitamin for improving the health of your hair, skin, and nails. And then the other really important thing are the fatty acids. So most Americans don't eat enough monounsaturated fatty acids and omega-3 fatty acids. And so increasing your intake of foods like olive oil and avocado oil, and even salmon and cold water fish, those are great ways to get better, prettier hair, skin, and nails. So the dryness issues tend to be a fatty acid issue, and the weakness issues tend to be a B vitamin or even a protein issue. So if you're a person who doesn't eat a lot of meat, or you're vegetarian, vegan, or you just don't like meat very much, and you've got kind of weakness going on, then you probably want to look at supplementing some of this stuff, because or consuming more protein sources. So, because those are very important for the building, they're the building blocks of hair, skin, and nails. And then, so, you know, for the glowing hair, you've got to have the right fatty acids, but for the strong hair, you've got to have the right B vitamins and proteins. So what I'm going to do is, there is a product that I use a lot in my practice, and I feel pretty comfortable just like letting y'all know about it, because we have a lot of people that walk in off the street and buy just that. It's called Hair, Skin, and Nails Guard, and it's really great for, you know, if you do nothing else, to just take that, and it really will improve the way things look. So I'm going to go ahead and link it below if you're interested in that. But, you know, supplements are great and they can really make a big difference, but I always recommend food first. So look at what you're eating first, look at the composition of your diet, and you know, change that up, and you'll see much better results than just if you take a supplement. But it doesn't hurt to take certain supplements, although you should be careful about what you take. So consult a professional before you take anything. And so I'm going to link that below. And the other thing is, make sure you're looking at your products for what kinds of ingredients are in them. This is probably a topic for another day, but there are so many endocrine disruptors, hormone disruptors, toxins and things like that in typical beauty products and skincare products, and even sunscreen. And the health regulations are very limited on those products. So the United States hasn't passed any legislation on that since the 1930s about what can be in different products. So if you think about how much the world has changed since then and how much we know now, it's really kind of scary. And so part of my practice, I work with a lot of people who have autoimmune disorders, who have skin issues, allergies, eczema, stuff like that, or who have hormone issues. And all of those things could potentially be exacerbated by the products that we put on our skin every single day. So I carry a line called Beauty Counter, which I have been very impressed with over the last year and a half or so, with their commitment to making sure that their products are as safe as possible and contain as little harmful stuff as possible. If that's something that you're interested in, you know, I'd be happy to send you more information. There's a really cool list called the Never List of all the chemicals and ingredients that you should avoid that are in typical products, so you can kind of look and compare what you have. I carry that company because I feel very strongly about that issue. Hormone issues and autoimmune issues are some of the biggest things that I work with in my practice, and I have seen firsthand people's health improving when they take care of not just their nutrition, but also their environmental stuff, and your products and things that soak into your skin really play a much bigger role than you would think they do, because your skin is your largest organ, actually. So it's very important. So you know, if you want to know more about all that stuff, I can definitely talk to you about it, but I always put my beauty counter link below in case you want to look at some stuff. They've got a really good new sunscreen that just came out. So it's safe and it won't turn you white. So that's nice. A lot of those natural sunscreens, because they have zinc in them, they kind of make your skin look white. But this one doesn't, so we're excited about it. But anyway, I'll put all that stuff below and I'll put the link to my website. I just posted a blog article about healthy hair, skin, and nails, so I go into more detail if you're interested. And I think that's it. So thank you all for the support. I really appreciate it, and I have enjoyed talking to you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on my sal. So get your pattern. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.